Hello everyone, my name is Asif Mahamud and welcome to InfoSecWarrior Consultant firm. I'm the CEO and President of InfoSecWarrior Consultant. Who we are? We are an information security company for risk assessment. We provide services for risk assessment to small and medium companies. Risk assessment is a very important task to do to avoid possible cyber breaches. We know every day there are a lot of cyber threats and incidents going on around the world in different companies. It can be government or private. My company is going to provide the clients with risk assessment and possible ways to avoid possible cyber threats. So what is risk assessment? It's a term which is used in the world of cybersecurity to describe the overall process or method where you identify hazards or risk factors that have the possible potential to cause harm, which is hazard identification, analyze those risks associated with the hazard, which is risk analysis, risk evaluation, risk determination, determine appropriate ways to eliminate the hazard, and control the risk when the hazard cannot be eliminated, which is going to be the mitigation plan. Moving to the next tab, how to conduct risk assessment. Here I have provided different steps to conduct the risk assessment to a company. To conduct a risk assessment, I'm going to explain in few words. First, the consultant will go to the company, or the person who is going to perform the risk assessment. He or she is going to the company, then identify the hazard, look at all the assets that's owned by the company or used by the company, look at the hazard that may be the possible cause for any kind of cyber breach or attack, see what exactly is causing the risk or hazard, and then try to figure out a way to mitigate that risk. Now, during this process, the person is going to contact with different business owners and asset owners of the company. So this risk assessment should be done by a competent person or team of individuals who have good working knowledge of the situation being studied. So without experience, risk assessment cannot be done properly. The person who is performing risk assessment must have prior knowledge on technical sides and the policies and procedures of the company, along with the state regulations on cybersecurity and risk assessment. Also, while doing the risk assessment, we must also bring into consideration how many people are doing the risk assessment, the actual potential exposure of workers, how often they will be exposed to those employees, the measurement, the perimeter of the scope, what we are measuring, and everything. What kind of tools are used and what standards has been used. In the next section, I'm going to show you a risk assessment framework. So my company provides risk assessment based on the NIST, which is National Institute of Standard and Technology, to conduct the risk assessment. The reason we use NIST guidelines is because it is sponsored through the DHS mandate and combined the authority of hundreds of US government agencies. Here are the risk assessment activities. First, we have to characterize the system. Second, threat identification, identify the threats. Vulnerability identification, identify the vulnerability that may cause the risk. Control analysis, how can we control the analysis? How can we control those risks? Likelihood determination, what's the likelihood of that risk to happen to the company? Impact, what's the impact? Risk determination, and then we will determine the risk by calculating the likelihood and the impact. After that, we are going to make recommendation to control those risks and then have possible mitigation plan. In the next tab, there is the service and cost for our company. We provide two types of service. One is remote learning methods. So we're going to teach the people about risk assessment to our client online, or we can go to on-site. We're going to send our consultant and do the risk assessment. Here's the cost and size of the students. If there are 1 to 3 people, for example, if there's 1 to 3 people in the online class, it's going to be $150 per hour. and the client can choose however many hours of education they would like. In the next section, there is our contact information. If you have more questions, give us a call or send us an email anytime. Thank you. Have a good day.